How many nickels make a dollar? Proportional reasoning is an important mathematical way of thinking needed for much of the math that's used in school and in everyday life. This video explains what proportional reasoning is, why it's important, and what parents can do to support its development in their children. The essence of proportional reasoning is the ability to understand and relate to numbers and values in relative rather than absolute terms. For example, students begin to understand proportions when they think of 9 as 3 groups of 3 rather than simply as being 6 more than 3. This later develops into thinking of 50% as half of something, or realizing that a speed of 50 kilometers per hour is the same as a speed of 25 kilometers per 30 minutes. Thinking of one number as being groups of another number is critical in school. For example, when studying fractions or in subjects such as chemistry, as well as in everyday life. To name just a few examples, we use proportional reasoning when we calculate the tax as a percentage of a total bill, judge distances using the scale of a map, convert the value of one currency to another, and adjust the proportions of ingredients when following a recipe. Let's look at some examples of how this important way of thinking is developed in the Ontario math curriculum. We'll do this by looking at questions drawn from EQAO's 3 provincial math tests, since all EQAO questions are directly linked to curriculum expectations. The first question comes from EQAO's Primary Division Assessment, which is written by students in grade 3. Each time Hayden practices piano, he plays for 15 minutes. How many times does he practice if he plays for a total of 2 hours? Here, students are asked to think of both 1 hour as 4 groups of 15 minutes and 2 hours as 2 groups of 1 hour. Hayden practices piano 8 times within 2 hours. The effect of changing a unit size, in this example, changing hours to minutes, is important in the development of proportional reasoning. Next is the EQAO Junior Division Assessment question. Written by students in grade 6, students must determine the cost of 2 ice cream cones, knowing the cost of 3. Jamie buys 3 ice cream cones for $4.65. At this rate, how much will it cost to buy 2 ice cream cones? By the end of grade 6, the Ontario curriculum expects students to be able to represent ratios found in real-life situations and also to represent relationships using rates. In this example, the ratio is 3 to 2, and the rates are the cost of 1, 2, or 3 cones. The proportional reasoning comes out in thinking of 3 cones as 1.5 groups of 2 cones, or of 2 cones as 2/3 of a group of 3 cones, or of the cost of 3 cones as triple the cost of 1 cone. In this last question, drawn from EQAO's grade 9 assessment of mathematics, students are given a table that shows the relationship between the cost to rent a bicycle and the number of rental hours. They are asked to figure out the mathematical equation that represents this relationship. The table shows the relationship between the cost to rent a bicycle, represented by C, and the number of hours, represented by N. Students must determine which equation represents the relationship. By the end of grade 9, students are expected to be able to use the information in the chart to see that the rental cost increases by $3 for each hour, starting from a base price of $10. The rental cost, which is the relationship between the base price, hourly rate, and the number of hours, can be represented by C equals 10 plus 3N. Answer D. Annual EQAO provincial tests have shown that grade 3 and grade 6 student results on proportional reasoning questions are generally in line with their overall performance on other types of math questions. Further development of math skills are needed across all areas of the math curriculum, including in the area of proportional reasoning. EQAO tests also show that by grade 9, many students across the province have still not demonstrated particular mastery of this skill. After each assessment, EQAO provides schools with detailed reports on how each student answered each test question. Grouping students' performance on test questions related to specific skills lets school teams use provincial test results to adjust how these skills are being taught and developed throughout the grades in their school. Like in all other areas of learning, math skills are developed progressively, and the foundations are established in very early grades. There are simple things parents can do at home to help their children develop their proportional reasoning skills. For example, you can ask questions that involve breaking up large units into smaller ones, such as asking how many nickels are needed to make $1, how many hours are in a week, or how many $20 bills make $1,000. You can also make a point of using comparative language with your children, such as by saying, "This bottle is twice as large as the other," or "We ate 2/3 of the pie." You can help children notice unit prices on display at a grocery store and explain to them why unit prices are listed. And you can also involve children in estimating percentages, like calculating savings during sales or when calculating sales tax. Proportional reasoning is an important approach for everyone to develop. We hope you have found this video useful. You can find other useful tools, resources, and information about Ontario student achievement on EQAO's website at www.eqao.com.